Markets are starting to heat up. Today we'll be breaking down everything in Bitcoin as well as some altcoins. My name is Paul Barrow. Welcome back into Tech Path. Let's get going today. I do want to thank our sponsor, and that is Tagem. This is a place where you guys can get moving on your own self-custody wallets. It's very easy to set up. It works like a credit card with your phone, and you get a chance to store your own tokens, your own crypto in your full control. Very secure as well. Make sure and use our link down below. It's going to give you some additional discount. It does help the channel. Joining me today, of course, is Mr. Evan Aldo. You guys know this guy coming in from abroad, as usual, out there traveling around. Where are you today, Evan?
Well, I'm in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. Great place.
All right. That's a great spot. Yeah, very beachside town, kind of a cruise spot. Love it. Been there many times.
Yep.
If you guys haven't checked out Evan's channel, go over to YouTube right now and search Evan Aldo. And this is what's going to come up right here. And just hit that little subscribe button right there. If I'm signed in, I'd be subscribed right there. Evan does a great job at giving you guys a full rundown on how to use charts. He also has a great live stream. So check it out. Make sure and subscribe right now. And we'll get started. Hey, Evan. Yeah, Evan, let's get into a few points. Obviously, crypto market cap now reclaiming $3 trillion. Big news right there. You look at that along with April, it feels like it just wham, boom, all of a sudden everybody's happy and, you know, go lucky again. And here we are at the end of April, moving now, May 1. But what do you think? I mean, what's your feeling on Bitcoin right now at its current price rate?
Right now, we're looking pretty good, hitting a big point. I think we're eventually going to break through, the point that we're hitting right now. And if, you look at my chart, we go on to right, over here, that 96 area. If we zoom in a little bit, hitting that spiral line right there. But I think it's pretty inevitable that you should be able to break above that, especially when you look at our daily right here. It looks like you got a lot more to go into the green, potentially in the next week, jumping up to 102, maybe by May 6th. It could take a little bit longer, hard to say.
Wow.
But I still am very optimistic I think we're still going to be good into the FOMC meeting all the way into June when they cut rates. And then I think you're going to get your summer lull and then that rally into the end of the year. So I'm still on that ballpark.
Okay, so I have a question for you in reference, because that's what we think is kind of the catalyst for the markets right now. You've got Bitcoin price about to blast a little bit higher, mainly because of the odds for a rate cut, and this coming in June. So do you feel, where would you see Bitcoin by June right now before we see a little bit of a summer lull retracement? What do you think that top could be?
114 all the way up to 120. That big jump right there. That's where there's a lot of resistance at that area. Yeah. Most likely a new all-time high, especially since we're so close to it already. I'd be surprised if you can't make a new all-time high before that area. It'd be pretty surprising. Yeah.
Obviously, it blasted through 95,000. We think that the price, this is people out there, analysts looking at around the 100K. Let's say Bitcoin hits 100K later this weekend. What altcoin would be moving in conjunction with Bitcoin, do you think? Do you think it'd be Ethereum or one of the new kids on the block?
Oh, man, it seems like it's probably, there's so many altcoins. Probably those ones that are recovering like crazy, those smaller caps like SWI, Virtual, those things seem to just keep pumping back up. And that's typically what happens. Those new coins that have a lot of hype behind them, that the whole bandwagon comes on, they recover very quickly. People get excited about them. Not to say that ETH can't recover as well. I think it absolutely will do very well. I think ETH could hit maybe 3,000 by June 18th. So, but those coins, I mean, even some of those meme coins that were popular, like the Trump coin, all that, like it's always those small cap alts that have that new bandwagon behind them. They recover quickly. And then you think it happens after the next dip, after this one, but nope, then it's new altcoins. That's kind of what happens.
For sure. Let's talk about Ethereum a little bit, because this is one that continues to lag along with where Bitcoin here now getting ready to face another all-time high. Ethereum not even anywhere near that right now. What is your position on ETH? Would you hold through on Ethereum, or is this maybe a time to diversify out of Ethereum and into other assets? What are your thoughts?
I think it's a time to hold through, and that's always, what I've stuck with. I think ETH has been pretty suppressed here. When I look at my chart here on Ethereum, the big place that we got to break through, that we're already kind of breaking through, 1864 right here. Your next technical target I mean, a conservative technical target would be around 2200, 2100. If you want to be a little bit more lenient with this, we could have a technical target all the way close up to 2500, which I think you got a good shot of continuing to jump up to that area. Maybe by mid-May, then you get a
Okay.
little bit of a speed bump here. And then I think the highest I could see us going, which is maybe a little too optimistic of a projection, but maybe 3,000, 3,100 by that June 18th FOMC meeting. If we've been as suppressed as I think we have been, look at your daily right here. Some rare bullish signs. Your money flow been in the red for a long time, about to come into the green. I mean,
Yep.
that could be a huge rally, similar to look what happened right here. Let's compare this just to get a ballpark estimate of what you may do on that money flow crossover. That brings you right up to that 3,100. Now, I don't think you're going to go up to 4,000 by June 18th, but you got a good shot of getting up to that area. For the real short term here, you're coming into weekend. Tomorrow's Friday. Maybe you bounce around a little bit, but next week, 2,000 within the next 10, 15 days, 2,000. It could be a good goal, 2,100. Yep.
All right, so ETH could be on the verge of a breakout. This is something that will continue to, I think, break down here on the channel, because ETH is first of all, it has a very large audience, in terms of sentiment, and they're also very resilient in being able to hold through, which we're not seeing a lot of activity in terms of people selling on ETH and trying these other altcoins out there. One of the things that I think could help Ethereum is the macro environment. And of course, you've got some signals coming in right now. The Chinese economy is slowing down substantially. This is according to Scott Bessent. And he's saying that they're going to likely revisit Trump's phase one trade deal. Now, I don't know if phase one was a great strategy, but maybe if the Chinese are truly seeing a substantial slowdown and we get a trade deal, macro-wise, that would be a fairly significant shot in the arm for a lot of altcoins. And ETH would be the one that I would anticipate seeing some benefits. You look at fear and greed. Look at that, Evan. I mean, that's nuts. 51 on fear and greed, up from where we were. Look at this, how fast this has come out of a...
That's why we're going to have a summer lull, I'll tell you, because that's going to come
Yeah.
up more in the next 2 months, I think.
You think so? Do you feel like we come back to that range of around 70 to 80 on fear and greed?
Yeah, I think you're
Wow.
going to hit,
Okay.
especially if Bitcoin makes new all-time high, you're easily going to be at that 80 mark or whatever.
Okay.
And then
All
that's
right.
why we need the summer lull for you to come back down, and then we get our last rally into
What would
September.
what would be the lower high then? Let's go to Bitcoin. Actually, let's stay on Ethereum for a second before we leave Ethereum.
Mhm.
If you're on the Ethereum chart, what would be the lower high that you would see in a summer lull if it does get back up to, say, a 2K to all the way to a 3K Ethereum?
So the way I've been charting it, and that's that's the $1 million question. The way I've been charting it is that we're going to see something like this. Once you get up to that 3K here, you have your rally upward. You get up to that point, generally that rally upward there. That's 3K by that FOMC meeting in June, when they'll probably likely NQT cut rates. Everybody gets excited, and look what happens. Probably at least a drop down 18, 20% back down to 2,500. It could be more catastrophic. It could be real bad where you scare a lot of people away. There's a lot of volatility, especially with Ethereum. It could be up to 30%. If it's 30%, it could be 30%. Then August onward, generally September onward into the end of the year, then you have your last rally upward, which hopefully would be at least a new all-time high or tied with the old all-time high at 4,800.
By end of year.
My high end still could be at 7,300, which is a big fib level. So I think you got a shot at that. The worse this correction, probably the worse it would be. Like if you just see a 20% correction, then you have more of a chance at that. You'd probably get a little, choppy around the old all-time high, and you'd probably do something like this into the end of the year, maybe even early January. So this is what I'm hoping for. This is my most optimistic prediction, but it wouldn't surprise me if we just project from the old all-time high.
And of course, with that, I always look at Ethereum's next upgrade, which is Pectra, getting ready to drop. Maybe there would be enough news in the market to where new capital would come into ETH in general. That might be interesting to see if in fact we do get some retail traders start to move, because I think ETH has the biggest opportunity to move right now for sure. I'm kind of in your camp. I want to jump over to the Robinhood's earnings, and they of course did really well. And a lot of this was built around the crypto environment because they've been able to kind of lock in on that. Let me play a clip for you.
So it was cryptocurrency and options trading really driving what was a record quarter for Robinhood. Crypto alone made up roughly 43% of total transaction-based revenue. That doubled from a year ago. Equities only about 9%, but still at a multi-year high. The breakdown is partially a reflection of pricing versus total volume. CEO Vlad Tenev just telling me last hour that crypto is now becoming a bigger part of mainstream portfolios, and that more sophisticated traders are drawn in by the fact that these assets trade 24 hours, 7 days a week.
But in terms of what drives the revenue, active traders trading, options and crypto, and increasingly now futures trading.
All right, so Robinhood absolutely knocking it out of the park with crypto in general. If you look at their Q1 25 earnings, you can kind of see the growth right now of the take rate on crypto, which is pretty significant in terms of continuation, which only means a lot more retail coming into the space. So Robinhood kind of a catalyst for retail traders, but also it's, it doesn't have a lot of tokens, but Ethereum is there, Avalanche is there, Chainlink is there. There's a handful of mainstream tokens that could end up doing really well if Robinhood continues up the charts here. One that I'm interested in to look at as well is SWE. They're having their big event during Token 2049. Big deal right here, of course, is that we've got programmable Bitcoin now, and you can earn yield on this. So all of this is available on the SWE ecosystem coming in. It might be why we're starting to see SWE trade at a premium right now. What is your outlook for SWE as it trades right now?
It's a pretty positive outlook. I mean, it has come up a lot, so you do need to be careful here. I mean, we're already, just to put this in perspective, we're up 100% already from the lows, but that doesn't mean you can't, you're still off the highs a bit. So I think you at least in the next, hopefully by end of May, next few weeks, get up to that 415 mark. Things generally look like they could keep going. On some of these lower time frames, your money flow is starting to come back up on some of these lower time frames. So, I could easily see something like this in the more short term, get up to that 425 mark, and then hopefully break above there at the end of May, get up to that, $5 mark. My range for like that June FOMC meeting is going to be somewhere between old all-time highs, $5, all the way up to maybe $6. So, the optimistic point would be something like this into June, and then you come back down, you retest those old all-time highs, maybe come below them, scare a lot of people away, and then fulfill this trend of trajectory into the end of the year, which would be all the way up to $10. So that's a pretty good jump from here. I mean, it could go up even higher. It's hard to say, but I think $10 would be a really good goal for this into the end of the year.
Is that the trade? If you look at a handful of tokens, especially altcoins, let's throw a few more into the bag here, and I want you to pick two. All right, so let's put Avalanche in here, Solana in here, SWE in here, and Cardano. Out of those four, which two would you pull away and say, I'm going to put more money in those projects?
So I would say definitely Avalanche. I have to. Avalanche has the best looking charts that I've seen, and they continue to be very, very good. I would take one of the legacy alts. So the two legacy alts there would be Cardano or Solana. It's tough between both of those. I think Cardano may have a little bit, and this is just based on charts, may have a little bit more momentum, so it would be a soft pick on Cardano there.
Soft pick on Cardano. Strong pick on
Not
Avalanche.
that I think the fundamentals are better on Solana, but
Yeah. If you did miss the SWE play, this is one altcoin. Again, not financial advice, but this is one altcoin we're watching, and that's BLUB. We've talked about it here on the channel many times. It is one. Have you ever traded this one, Evan?
No, I've never even heard of it. It's new to me, BLUB.
Well, you got to check it out. All right. There you go.
Okay. So we got some money flow coming up. Definitely decent on your daily right there. So there's potential. I mean, it's obviously going to be risky. It's hitting a big point like a lot of other coins are hitting. I would say this is a pretty big point right around, it's hard to, a million zeros 30, but you break above there and then you have your next big point, which would be right at this point. Obviously be very careful with this. It's hard to say. But I could see 170% run up in the next 2 months. Obviously, very speculative. very risky, but it could definitely run up, and I could see into the end of the year. I mean, it's very hard to say, but let's start. The major goal is just getting back up to old all-time highs, which would be 500% from where we are right now. So obviously a very risky, very high risk, high reward investment. So yeah.
This one has not run yet, like what we have seen with SUI overall. So it could be a play. We'll see how it goes. And by the way, if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, just take some time right now, hit the subscribe button, because a lot of times when we're talking about the number of altcoins that Evan and I break down, we always love to get your impact and input. So drop some tokens down below if you guys think that you've got something special out there we should check out here on the show. Let's get into Avalanche. Obviously, the SEC acknowledges the Van X filing for a spot ETF right now on AVAX. That is going to be good news if we do see an ETF on Avalanche this year. That would be huge in a shot in the arm for Avalanche, because it has been trading a little bit flat. Where do you like Avalanche at Fed rate cut day? So where is it going between then and now?
Oh man, I'm so excited to show you Avalanche. Oops, let me just get it on my Binance chart, get a little bit better there. So the big thing here is, what we've seen, and I mean, it could really jump up here, because you saw that rally here, you saw this rally here. I think it may be more almost like this rally, something of this nature. So a lot could happen. Now, this may be a little bit too optimistic, maybe just $60. So I would say the range for this by that area would probably be somewhere between $50 to $80, $50 to $80. Like the low point would hopefully be $49.50. The high point would be these past big areas back in 2021 that we could hopefully jump back up to. And the reason why is, I mean, it doesn't get much more bullish than this on that 2 week. I mean, if you compare it to here, that would give us our conservative estimate, which would be down. That'd be your like $50 estimate right there. So I think at least $48. Obviously, it's speculative. Obviously, I could be wrong, but I think you got a really good shot at $48 by that June, that FOMC meeting. So if not then, a few months later. So yeah.
So easily a double plus on where your investment might go with this one. And I think that it has been one of those that is a little bit slower. Let me challenge you a little bit here, because I know you're a big ETH fan. If you're brand new to crypto, would you take Ethereum right now? You don't own any Ethereum and you don't own any Avalanche. Which one of those tokens would you take if you could only get one?
Well, before I answer, I always like to preface that saying that I always like to have diversification there. But if I'm only going to pick one right now, oh man.
It's someone's first trade.
If I want more risk, I'm going to take Avalanche. If I want a little bit less risk, I'm going to take ETH, but probably Avalanche, because, no risk it, no biscuit.
That's right. No risk it, no biscuit.
Yeah.
I like it. Well, and you guys can kind of judge for yourself. If you are a little bit more conservative, then, Evan gave you the ETH trade. That's the way to go. All right, so Evan, let's jump over to Solana real quick. And one thing that is happening, you can kind of see Drip, of course. They're talking about it, and that is one of the biggest conferences yet happening in New York. I'm hoping to be there, but this is going to be going on May 22nd and 3rd. Likely is that we're going to see some pretty big announcements there. So with not only what's happening with the collectibles on Drip's homepage, what they're going to do there at that event, but there probably will be a lot more announcements. When you look at Solana right now, it's it has returned to a more normal price zone for Solana. Where do you like Solana by Fed rate cut and end of year?
Okay, so when we go on to Solana, I'm excited about Solana. So we're hitting off of, this big area right here. Your money flow generally looks good in a lot of time frames, especially the daily. Looks like you could travel up quite a bit more with this money flow here. You got a lot of green to go. Your first technical target, assuming we break above where we are right now, which I think we will, is going to be really 220, which would be a big area. You hit that in the spider line, that would be right around that FOMC meeting, 220, 212, 220, which would be a huge area. It could be even higher. I would say somewhere between 220 all the way up to 260 would be my range for that June FOMC meeting, coming up to there. And then you get your summer lull, it gets boring, you get more fear in the market, which you need, and you get your last rally upward to probably 400, which I think is a pretty good goal from here. Okay. I mean, let's see from where we are right now, end of year, 166%. It's not impossible to go up even higher, maybe 650, but I think 400 is the big area I would be really looking at for Solana into the end of the year.
Okay,
that
so
would
you're
bring
liking
it to $200 billion market cap or more. So yeah.
Yeah, that would be a significant move. All right, okay, Evan, before we get out of here, when you look at the movers in the market right now, there's a handful of them. Virtuals is one of them that I want to talk about. You mentioned it earlier. First of all,
Yep.
when you look at virtuals, up 12% on the day right now. Look at this climb. This is a crazy move. Do you think virtuals has returned, and can it come back to this all-time high right here where we were clipping it around 460? What are your thoughts?
That's the $1 million question. Let's look at the chart and then we'll kind of get an idea of that. So when we go to our virtuals chart right here, we get it up right here, and let's go on there. So big point right here. If we can break above where we are right now, your answer is probably yes. You got a little speed bump around $2, but you break above there. I mean, there's other places, you know, $3 that you could mess around with, but if you break above there, the new all-time highs, maybe that $6.78 mark. Generally, when you look at money flow on a lot of these, you know, time frames, deep anchor waves, all that, everything generally looks good. So maybe, just maybe, by that June FOMC meeting, you know, you got some time, you get up to these areas, then here's the plot twist. You get to your summer lull or something, come back quite a bit, and then into the end of the year, maybe that's your high. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't. Some of that's what happens a lot. Everybody gets excited. Oh, same thing's going to happen again when they see the summer lull, but then you don't go up any higher. That's where it could get, you know, that's where it could get a little tricky there. So just keep that in mind. But I think you got a good
for sure. Go out and do your research on Virtuals, great AI agent project. We've talked about it quite a bit here on the show. We've got several videos. If you guys just want to search Virtuals, you'll pick up a lot of our coverage and research on that to get you kind of in the game here. But it is one that could be playing pretty strong. And of course, you also have to kind of consider the potential of the connection with Animoca Brands, which is a huge Web3 outfit with Yatsu leading that. All of that could resonate into a resurgence into this space, and especially with the news on Apple and Epic Games, I think the landscape's getting ready to change again for a lot of technology, and crypto may be in the center of all of that. Evan, it's always good chatting with you. Thanks again for coming in today. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much. Always a pleasure. Have a good one, Paul.
You bet. All right, you guys, if you're not in the Diamond Circle, make sure and get in right now. It is a place where we drop an additional email out to you guys. You get to catch up on some of the videos, but also some additional research that we don't even include here in the show. And best of all, you can also join our Telegram group, which is absolutely free. Thousands of members over there. I'm chatting with you guys daily. It's very easy, and it's only one Telegram group. We leave the link down below. Check it out. Follow me on X, @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.